Hello everyone and welcome to this video on the Python programming language. So in this video I will be using the three moving average strategy in Python to determine when to buy and sell stock. Now currently I'm on Google's website. It's called colab.research.google.com and I'm on it because it makes it really easy to start programming in Python. So that means that you don't have to install Python into your computer. You could just go to this website and then log in using your Google account and get started writing your Python code. So let's go ahead and get started writing this code. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is click on File and then click on New Notebook, and a new tab will open up for you, and then eventually a new cell will open up as well. Now, before we write the program, I want to talk a little bit about the strategy. So the three moving average crossover strategy uses three moving averages. One moving average is the short or fast moving average. Another is the middle or medium moving average, and the last one is the long or slow moving average. Okay, so the strategy has two buy and sell signals. So the first buy and sell signal for the strategy tells us to buy when the middle or medium moving average crosses above the long or slow moving average, and the short or fast moving average crosses above the middle or medium moving average. And if we used that buy signal, then the strategy tells us to sell if the short or fast moving average crosses below the middle or medium moving average. The strategy also tells us to buy when the middle or medium moving average crosses below the long or slow moving average, and the short or fast moving average crosses below the middle or medium moving average. And if we used that buy signal, it tells us that we should sell when the short or fast moving average crosses above the middle or medium moving average. Okay, so I know that's a lot, but hopefully as we continue this program, it becomes easier and you get a better understanding of the strategy and of Python. All right, so let's go ahead and get started writing the code. And before I write any logic to the code, I like to put in a description and comments about the program. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to put a description here. So this will tell me what this program does or what it's about. So this program uses the three moving average crossover strategy to determine when to buy and sell stock. And I'm going to move this down a little bit here just so I can make it look a little bit better and get it all on the screen here. So I think that looks good. Let's go ahead and create a new cell by clicking the code button here in the top left. And in this cell, I'm going to import the libraries that I plan on using throughout the program. So I'm going to import pandas as PD, and I'm going to import numpy as np, and I'm going to import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and then I'm going to give the plot a style. So I'm just going to type plt.style.use, and I'm going to use the 538 style. Okay, next we're going to run this cell by clicking this button here to the left, and let's see if we get back any errors. All right, so it looks like there are no errors. So I'm going to create a new cell here, and in this cell I'm going to load the data that I plan on using. So we're going to load the stock data that I'm going to be using throughout this program. And because I'm on Google's website, I need to use Google's library to do this. So from google.colab, I'm going to import files, and then I'm going to create a variable called uploaded, and I'm going to set it equal to files.upload. All right, and then I'm going to run this cell to upload the file and click on choose files. And then the file that I'm going to choose is the Tesla file, or tsla.csv file. I'm going to click open, and now the file has been uploaded. So let's go ahead and create a new cell. And in this cell, I plan on storing the data into a variable. All right, so I'm going to create a variable called df, and I'm going to set it equal to pd.read_csv, and I'm going to read in that CSV file that was just uploaded, which is tesla.csv, or tsla.csv. All right, and then I want to show the data. So I'm just going to type df, and let's go ahead and run this cell and take a look at the data. So we can see that this file has the columns date, open, high, low, close, adjusted close, and volume. So these columns here are all prices. So this is the price of the stock for the given day. And it looks like we have 140 days that were recorded, or 140 rows. And then we have, of course, those 7 columns which I mentioned earlier. Now I can see here we have the index. They're all integer values. I want these indexes to be the date instead. So let me go ahead and add the date as the index, or set the index. So here we're going to set the index. So the index we want it to be the date, or at least I want it to be the date. So just type df and set it equal to df dot set underscore index, and then type pd dot date time index, and then I want to get the date from the date column. So just type df and then put in date, and then let's put dot values here, and that should do it. So let's go ahead and run this cell again, and now I can see that the index has changed to the value in the date field. So that looks good. Let's go ahead and create a new cell, and in this cell I want to visualize the data. So I want to visually show the close price. So that's the column that I'm going to focus on, is the close price of the stock here. So let's type plt dot figure, and let's give the figure a figure size. So I'm going to set the figure size equal to 12.2 by 4.5, and then I'm going to give this plot a title. So just type plt dot title, and the title will be close price, and then I'm going to show the plot. So just type plt dot show, and I need to actually plot the data. So let's put that here. So type lt dot plot and type df close. So this is the data that we're plotting. All right, and so now this should look it looks good. So it should run. So let's go ahead and run it. And we have our chart of the close price, or our plot of the closing price. Okay, so it looks really good. I'm going to make it look a little bit better just for me. I prefer my plots to look a little bit better than this. So I want to give the x-axis a label. So I'm going to type plt.x label, and I will call it date. And on top of that, I'm going to give it a font size. So I'm going to set the font size equal to 18, and I'm basically going to do the same thing for the y-axis. So just type plt.y label, and on the y-axis, the label will be the close price. All right, and then I'm going to give it a font size as well. So I'm going to set the font size equal to 18. I think that looks really good. I want the close price, the title close price, to also have a font size. Let's see here. Let me just put that right there. Okay, so we have font size. I'm going to set it equal to 18 as well. And let's go ahead and run this. Okay, now this looks, I think it looks a little bit better. Okay, of course, just the personal preferences. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new cell. And actually, before I put anything in this cell, let's go back up here to this plot. And I just want to take note here that it looks like if you had bought Tesla stock on sometime, like it looks like December 2019, maybe the 1st of December 2019, right around here, and you had sold it right around here between February 2020 and March 2020, you would have made some so you'd have made some money. That's what I want to say. It looks like it would have been about, I'm just taking a guess here because I can't tell exactly what this price is here, but it's somewhere between 300 and 400 USD. That's what you would have bought it at, and you would have sold it around, I'm just going to say around 900 USD here. So you would have profited about, and I'm just throwing this out, at least 500 USD per share of Tesla stock. So that's crazy. All right. So hopefully the strategy that I create here can show us a good time when to buy the stock and a good time when to sell it. Because obviously if you didn't sell it here and you ended up selling it here, although you would have been although you would have profited, it wouldn't have been as much of a profit if you had sold it here. All right. So I hope that was interesting. Let's go ahead and go to the next cell here. And in this cell, we're going to start doing some calculations of the three moving averages. So here I'm going to put calculate the three moving averages. And the first moving average that I'm going to calculate is the short or fast moving average. Okay, and I'm gonna actually make it an exponential moving average. So I'm gonna put exponential moving average. All right. So let's create a variable first. I'm gonna call it short EMA, which will be it will be short for a short or fast exponential moving average. And I'm going to set this equal to df.close.ewm. And I'm going to give it a span equal to 5. So that will be the time period. And I'm going to set adjust equal to false. And then, of course, we want the mean. So just type dot mean here. And that should do it for the short EMA. Next, I'm going to calculate the long or slow exponential moving average. All right, so I'm gonna create a variable. I'm gonna call it long EMA, and I'm gonna set this equal to df.close.ewm, and I'm gonna give it a span equal to 63, and then of course adjust will be equal to false, and I think that needs to be a capital F. So let's put that there. All right, that looks good, and then type dot mean. And of course, I need a middle or median, or I'm sorry, middle or medium moving average. So let's go ahead and create that here. So here we're going to calculate the middle or medium exponential moving average. Okay, so I'm gonna create a variable called middle EMA, and I'm going to set this equal to df.close.ewm, and the span will be somewhere in between these two time periods, between 5 and 63. So I'm going to choose 21, and I'm going to set adjust equal to false, and then of course we want the mean. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. Yeah, I'm going to run it one more time. All right, so it looks like everything was calculated properly here, and there were no errors. So I'm going to create a new cell. And now in this cell, I want to see the close price and these moving averages all together on a chart. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to visualize the closing price and the exponential moving averages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here where I had created this chart or plot already. I'm just going to highlight it, use Control C to copy it, and then come down here and use Control V to paste it. And then I'm going to add in these moving averages. So I'm just going to type plt.plot, and we're going to plot df, we're going to plot short EMA. And I'm also going to plot, so just type plt.plot the middle EMA, and type plt.plot long EMA. All right, so that looks really good. I'm going to give each of these a label. So I'm going to give the exponential moving averages and the closing price a label. So I'm going to set label equal to close price here. And actually, I'm going to give it a color as well. So I'm going to set color equal to blue. And I'm going to copy, well, no, I just write it all out. So I'm going to set the label here equal to short slash fast EMA. And this color will be red. And then let's go to the middle EMA, give it a label. So label will be equal to middle or medium EMA. And the color will be equal to orange. Okay, and then last but not least is the long EMA, and I'm going to set the label equal to long slash slow EMA, and then I'm going to give it a color, so the color will be green. And that looks good. Let's run this. All right, looks like I have a few issues here. So let's see what's going on. All right, so the problem is right here. I put color is equal to red without putting it in the quote. So let's run this again. And now we get back this nice chart. All right. So everything looks really good. And what we're really concerned about is the crossing of the exponential moving averages, right? So like when they're crossing here and here, I don't know, it's all over actually, all over this chart. So that's what we're really concerned with. And according to the strategy here, that's what's going to tell us when to buy and when to sell the stock. So it looks good on this chart, but I also want to plot the buy and sell signals as well onto this chart. So let's do a little bit more programming to calculate when to buy and when to sell, and then let's visualize it on the chart as well. So let's continue with the program. I'm going to create a new cell here, and in this cell, I am going to add the exponential moving averages to the data set. So let's create a few new columns. I'm going to create a new column called short, and I'm going to set it equal to short EMA. And then let's create another column. I'm going to call it middle, and let's set it equal to middle EMA, and then create a third column. I'm going to call it long, and I'm going to set it equal to long EMA. And let's go ahead and run this cell. All right, looks good. Let's create a new cell. And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and show the data frame. So we're going to show DF, or show the data. So just type DF here, and let's run this, and let's go over to the right, and we can see the new column short, middle, and long in the data set. Okay, so that looks really good. I'm going to create a new cell, and now in this cell, what I plan on doing is creating a function to buy and sell the stock. So this is the trading strategy that I plan on doing right now. So here I'm going to put create the function to buy and sell the stock. So just type def, and then I'm going to call this function, I don't know, buy, sell function, and it's going to take in some data. All right. And then I'm going to create some variables. So I'm going to create a buy list, and I'm going to set it equal to an empty list, and I want a sell list as well. So a list that tells me at what price to sell the stock for some given day. So I'm going to set it equal to an empty list as well. And let's see, I'm going to need some flags. So I'm going to I'm going to create a flag. I'll call it flag underscore long, and I'm going to set it equal to false. And then I need another flag. So I'm going to call it flag underscore short, and I'm going to set it equal to false as well. And these flags will tell me which strategy or which portion of the strategy I'm in. So if I had chose that first buy signal, then I know that I need to sell it before I go to any other buy signals, and if I go to the second buy signal, I need to sell it before going to any other buy signals as well. All right, so that's what the flags are going to be used for basically. So let's create a loop. So for I in range 0 to the length of the data set, so for the length of data, I want to basically loop through and find all the times that the strategy applies. So the first part of the strategy was to buy when the middle or medium moving average crosses below the long or slow moving average, and the short or fast moving average crosses below the middle or medium moving average. So let's go ahead and put that strategy here. So I'm going to put if data at middle, or I'm sorry, data middle at position I, if that is less than data long at position I, and data short at position I is less than data middle at position I, then we're going to buy. But also, I'm going to use these flags to let me know that it's okay to go into this buy statement here. So I'm going to put and the flag long is false, and flag short is false. Okay, so I think that'll do it. So then if I am going to buy, I'm going to append to my buy list. So I'm just going to put buy list dot append. I'm going to append the price of the stock, more specifically the closing price. So just type data data close at position I. Okay, and then I'm going to append to the cell list as well. I'm just going to append not a number. So just type np.nan, and then I'm going to set that flag short equal to true to let me know that I went into this if statement here. Okay, so I think that looks really good. Now that's when we buy the stock. So now I need to know when to sell it. So we're going to sell it if the short or fast moving average crosses above the middle moving average. All right, so I'm going to put else if flag underscore short is true. So if it is true, that means that we went to this if statement here. All right, so if that's true and it meets our other conditions, which is that the short EMA at position I, if it is greater than the middle EMA at position I, then we're going to sell it. So if we're going to sell this, I want to append to the sell list. So just type sell underscore list dot append, and I'm going to append that closing price. So that's data close at position I. And then I'm going to append to the buy list as well. So just type buy underscore list dot append, and I'm going to append a NaN value. All right. And then I need to reset the flag. So flag underscore short is going to be equal to false. All right. And that'll do it for the first buy and sell signal. Now what I can do is basically copy this. So I'm going to copy it by highlighting it and then using Control C to copy it. And I'm going to paste it using Control V here. I'm going to make this statement here in elif or else if statement. And then we could just change the inequalities. And let's see, this one was less than, so it needs to be greater than. And that looks good there. Now I need to change this flag here. So from flag short, it needs to be flag long, because that lets me know I went into this statement. And then if flag long is true, I can go into this statement and I need to swap this value or switch it to be less than. And then I can change this here to long as well to reset that flag. And that should pretty much do it. All right. So not too bad. Last but not least, I'm going to put an else statement that if the conditions aren't met for any of those statements, then I'm just going to append to the buy and sell list a NaN value. So np.nan for the buy, and then sell list dot append np.nan as well. All right, so let's see. We need to return the buy list and the sell list. All right, so I think everything should work out if I type everything properly. Let's go ahead and run this cell. Let's create a new cell. All right, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add the buy and sell signals to the data set. Okay, so I'm going to create two new columns. One column will be called buy, and the other one will be called sell when I create it. So right now, let's focus on the buy column, and let's set it equal to our function buy sell function, which takes in a data frame, and I want to return what's at index 0. And then let's create the sell column and set it equal to buy sell function, which takes in a data frame, and I want to return index 1. All right, so let's go ahead and run this, and it looks like we have some errors, so I need to go back up here. And it looks like the problem is that I misspelled something. So like I misspelled middle here. And let's go ahead and rerun this cell and go down here and rerun this. And still some more misspellings. And that's because I just copied and pasted. So I need this middle here to also be spelled properly. Let's run this cell one more time and go back down and run this. And now everything is working fine. All right. So I know we've done a lot now, but we've created this function that's going to give us the buy and sell signals. We've looked at the plot for Tesla closing price, and we've also seen the plot with the closing price and the moving averages all together. So now let's visually show when to buy and sell and really check out this strategy. So I'm going to create a new cell, and in this cell, again, we're going to visually show the stock buy and sell signals. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back up here where we made this nice plot, and I'm going to copy this by highlighting it and using Control C, come back down here, and I'm going to paste it using Control V. And this time I'm going to add in a few more things, right? So we want to add in those buy and sell signals. So here I'm just going to type plt.plot, and we're going to plot the buy signal. So let me see here. Actually, you know what? It needs to be a scatter plot. So I'm going to type plt.scatter, and we're going to put in the index. So type df.index, and then I want the buy signal here. So I'm going to put df and then put buy, the buy column, and then I'm going to give it a color. So I'm going to set the color equal to green. So the green will tell me, the the momentum of the stock is going to go up. So I'm going to use green for like go. And then I'm going to use a marker. And the marker will be, basically pointing upward. So let's put that little up symbol. And let's give it a alpha equal to 1. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this here using Control C, and I'm going to paste using Control V. And instead of the buy signal here, we're going to put sell, because I want the sell column. And instead of green, I'm going to use the color red for, stop. And then instead of that up marker to indicate that the prices are going to go up, I'm going to use a down marker to indicate that the prices are going to go down. All right, so that should do it, and the alpha will be the same. Okay, now for the rest of the data on the plot or chart, I want to change the alpha to be, I'm just going to throw out 0.35, and I'm going to copy this here using Control C, and I'm going to paste it for all the rest of the data here. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to change this title here from close price to buy and sell chart, or maybe I just say buy and sell plot. And let's go ahead and run this. All right, so this looks really good, and it went pretty smoothly. So now looking at this, let's take a look at the strategy. So here we can kind of see this green marker telling us to buy, and then a red marker telling us to sell. So right here, it looks like we would have actually lost money during this doing this strategy. And it looks like we would have bought somewhere. I'm just going to throw out a number. We'll say like 375, and then I would have lost. Um, I would have sold around. It looks like 315 or something. So it looks like I would have lost, I don't know, $60, something like that. I'm just throwing out random numbers here. I really don't know the exact price here and the exact price here. Again, they're just random numbers, but I do know I would have lost money. All right. Then the strategy tells us to buy here, and it looks like I would have bought. I really don't know what this price is, but I would have bought down here and sold right here. So it looks like it's a little bit up where I would have sold, and so I would have been profitable there. And then the buy signal is telling us to buy right around here, and then it tells us to sell here. So it definitely, I would have made some profit. It doesn't seem to be the optimal place to sell, which would have been around this peak here. and we probably just should have never sold at all here. We probably just should have continued buying, or we should have just bought here and then not sold at all and then sold here. But that's okay because, at least the strategy so far seems like it would have been at least profitable for this data set so far. All right, now if I go over here, I can see another buy signal down here. And again, the optimal place to buy would have been, like right here, right? But that's okay because we then sell the stock at a higher price, so we would have been profitable there. And then it looks like the strategy is telling us to buy here, and I don't know exactly where it would have told us to sell, but it looks like we would have been profitable had we sold it this last day here. All right, so that's basically it. It looks like this is a promising strategy, but I only used 140 trading days to test it and only tested it on one asset. So much more testing is needed before a strategy like this should be implemented. And I don't really think any buy and sell strategy that I've come across has been perfect, but I think it gives us a decent what I want to say, a decent strategy or a good way of analyzing some of this data. So that's basically it. I want to say thank you to the patrons for supporting me on patreon.com. And to everyone else, thanks for watching the video. If you are not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, please click the like button and share it. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.